last caught up with you at Rescue Rooms back in May when you just released your second album. How have you enjoyed the last 9 months of touring with your new tracks?
I think we've loved it. Like the thing of, we'd been playing the last ones for about 3 years, and so it was time for a change. And the set that we're doing at the moment is pretty new song heavy, and so I mean, and the fact that it kind of proves that we did all right, that we feel like we can afford to do just that record mainly, and then play a few little odds and ends off the last one. But
I remember you saying you were kind of really looking forward to getting out with new tracks. Like you say, it's a long time, isn't it, playing all the tracks from your first album?
Too long.
Yeah. And what kind of feedback have you had from fans on the second album?
I think it's been all right. Like they don't. I mean, you get a few shouts for Latchmere and that, but we're not playing it at the moment, so
really?
People go wanting. But
oh, are you just a bit tired of it yourselves, or?
Yeah, just I don't. If your heart's not in it, you shouldn't play it, and so it's not at the moment.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
A lot of your music has quite romantic content. Were you into kind of heartfelt, sort of meaningful lyrics and stuff in songs that you were listening to growing up? Are you quite a romantic person?
Not especially, I don't think.
Oh.
I mean, I guess it's just trying to figure out what you think you can justify singing about or spending time working out the words for. Because
Well, you certainly weren't romanced by the lady at the post office today, by the sounds of it, in Nottingham.
No, she deserved none in return, so she got none. They won't know the background of this poor woman.
That's okay. That's okay.
It wasn't my fault. But yeah, sorry.
Sorry, the lady in the post office. You've toured and played festivals quite extensively the last year. But have you had much time to write any new songs?
Yeah, a little bit. We've got lots of odds and ends and a couple of sort of almost finished things that as soon as we finish this tour, we'll go and dedicate our time to properly.
Do you collaborate together, or do you sort of start it off?
Well, this time in particular, everyone's been writing on their computers, and then we'll figure out how to make them all kind of sit together.
Yeah. And you've played sell-out gigs and a few of the big festivals this summer as well. But can you think of one gig in particular that really stands out as a favourite?
Well, it wasn't even the gig really. We played in Switzerland, but then the drive out of the place was unbelievably beautiful. And then we got to go on a glacier, and they'd built like a tunnel into the glacier, and so everything was kind of like. It's like being in like a big mint or something. It was.
What, you walk through or you drive through?
No, you walk through. Like you go into this, and it's like being in like a massive ice cube. Yeah. But so that was one of the highlights.
And Hugo said in an interview a couple of years ago that you weren't going to be a stadium band, and you didn't kind of want to lose that intimacy that you have. But obviously, since then you've played the O2, pulled in a huge crowd at the O2. So how does that sort of compare for you to the smaller venues?
But to be fair, like you can mess up a big gig and a small gig, and feel totally capable of messing up both. So it's so many factors all happening to come along at the same time that are out of your control, and then all the things that you can control, but you probably should have put more effort into controlling, and all of these things. So it doesn't really matter where you're playing. It can be a rotten gig in a big place, or a rotten gig in a small place, or a brilliant gig in a
So you don't kind of feel differently when you look out and you see that there's a huge crowd in front of you, or a small crowd. That doesn't make you sort of perform differently.
Wherever you're playing, you still manage to spot the person that looks like they're really bored. So it's kind of
Or the person that's having the most fun, of course.
Yeah.
And how does the NME Awards Tour experience differ from sort of your own tours? Is it cool to tour with other bands and sort of hang out with other bands?
Well, it's the biggest lineup we've ever 4 bands a night. So there's a lot of people around, and we're on a 16-bed bus with 16 people on it, and
really?
So there's a lot of people kicking about. You never get lonely.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to sleep on a bus. That's but I also like the kind of rabbit warreniness of it, and all these little. I don't know. It's kind of.
I quite like camping. I like that kind of. The feel of being snug at night. It's quite cool.
That little dive in, because I watched that Fantastic Mr. Fox the other day, and there's a lot of kind of scurrying in that, and I got really into that. I'm trying to. Yeah.
Making yourself a burrow. Did you know much about the other bands that before you started the tour? Did you know much about them before you toured with them?
Yeah, well, I had the Bombay Bicycle album and Big Pink album. Listened to them both a lot and really enjoyed it.
Great, that's
and
good then.
Yeah,
tour with bands that you're into.
Yeah, absolutely. Like every night we can watch really good stuff. So it's great.
Well, good luck tonight. Hope you enjoy Nottingham, and thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome. No bother.
Thanks, Orlando.